mercenaries' role for the superpowers again and again. So in my view, these 20th and 19th century geopolitics have played havoc with our culture, with our national character, with our financial position, economy, and everything. If I only give you figures of war on terror, Pakistan lost something like $125 billion. This was economic loss. Whereas we gained from our so-called ally, which is whom I called as inimical ally, which is the US, $20 billion US. So besides this, we lost in terms of blood, we lost in terms of infrastructure, and the biggest loss that Pakistan has suffered is the loss of national character. Now if you just imagine, here is a society which with millions of houses, households, and at least 1 to 2 million households are such which are not normal. There is a wife which doesn't have a husband, there are children who do not have a father, there is a sister who do not have a brother, there is a mother who do not have a daughter, a son. There are people living in those households, something like 2 million, which are either injured or they have lost their life. So just imagine that what kind of impact this reality is going to have on this society. Now my point of view is that while the past 20th and 19th century geopolitics have ripped apart our culture and everything, the future is in our hand. That is the 21st century geopolitics. In fact, I would say that because of these geopolitical games in our region, we got used to easy money. And let me quote here T.V. Paul, who wrote in his book Warrior State, that while Middle East is suffering from resource curse, Pakistan is suffering from strategic curse. And the logic he gave was that the Middle East is blessed, endowed with tremendous natural resources, they lack motivation to work hard. Conversely, Pakistan is blessed with a superior strategic location. Every time they get easy money, so they lack motivation to work hard. If I analyze it critically, dispassionately, I would say that he is not totally wrong. Now, as far as the 20th century geopolitics are concerned, you might have heard about three main theories. One is of Mackinder, second is of Spikeman, and third is of Mahan. These are very important particularly for students to understand. Mackinder said that whosoever rules the word island, which is the Eurasian landmass, the biggest island of the world, which is also called as Eurasian landmass, combined Asia and Europe, whosoever rules the Eurasian landmass will rule the world. Now he said somewhere in 1904 or something like that. In 1934, now Mackinder was British. 1934, Nicholas Spikeman, he gave a new theory and he said that whosoever rules the rimland of this Eurasian landmass will rule the world. And Mahan again in 34 or 43 something, he said, again a US naval expert who said that whosoever rules the seas will rule the world. Now we are hearing about BRI. Let me assure you that BRI takes care of all three theories. BRI is dominating Eurasian landmass through its three corridors, main corridors. BRI is dominating Eurasian landmass, rimland of Eurasian landmass through remaining three corridors, and of course the road is on the sea. So the BRI will take care of the sea also. Now, as far as China is concerned, China is suffering from Malacca dilemma, and their sea lines of communication, which goes to eastern coast, is long, circuitous, cost intensive, and most seriously vulnerable, can be severed by the enemies. There is a US author with the name of George Friedman, as well as Mahan. Both have said that with the present geography of China, China cannot become a superpower. It's an amazing hypothesis. With the present geography of China, China cannot become a superpower. Now, in my view, what CPEC does is that CPEC mitigates geographic limitations of China. CPEC converts China from one ocean country to two ocean countries. CPEC gives a flexibility to China that if one door opens, the second door is still, one door closes, second door is still open. Now CPEC, now there are three energy choke points of the world. One is the Persian Gulf, through which something like 21 million barrels of oil pass every day. Second is Bab el-Mandab, through which around 6-7 million barrels of oil pass every day. And the third is Strait of Malacca, 17 to 18 million barrels of oil pass through Strait of Malacca every day. Now you can see that what is the relationship of CPEC as far as these choke points are concerned. So CPEC opens up right in front of the main energy choke point, which is the Gulf, Persian Gulf. Now another author that I would like to mention is Robert D. Kaplan. He wrote in somewhere in 28 or 29 that Indian Ocean is going to be center stage of rivalry for 21st century. Now think of this hypothesis. Indian Ocean is going to be center stage of rivalry for 21st century. And he based his hypothesis on basic rationale that Indian Ocean is holding energy rich areas as well as energy hungry areas. Energy rich are Central Asian states and Middle East. Energy hungry are China and India because of huge population. Now if we just think and agree to this hypothesis, out of four major powers of the world, that is Russia, US, EU and China, China will only be, out of these four major powers, only power which will have direct access to this future center stage of rivalry, which is of 21st century. Neither Russia will have, they tried it once they came to Afghanistan, nor US will have, nor EU will have. So that is the importance of this CPEC. Another thing that I would like to share with you, I call it as the, once I was doing my PhD and I studied a book on sea power, and it was mentioned that while the two of the main oceans, that is Pacific and Atlantic, they have grown well, but Indian Ocean has lagged behind. The states which are around Indian Ocean, they have lagged behind. Indian Ocean has been a trade corridor or a trade conduit for almost 3,000 centuries. Because of monsoon winds and because of before the steam engine, the sails, the ships which were moving with the sails, their movement was very convenient. So Indian Ocean particularly has lagged behind. I will talk about it later also. In Indian Ocean, there is a battle of ports which is going on. Again, substantiating the hypothesis given by Robert D. Kaplan. For this battle of ports, Chinese theory is called as string of pearls. Indian theory is called as necklace of diamonds. So these are the two contending theories. Something like 13-14 ports are being built by China and 8 to 9 ports are being built by India. So this is the battle of ports going on between India and China. I hope I am not boring you. Boring to nahi zyada. And Colonel Khalid, I have the time. I'll not take very long. I am about to finish. Okay, so this battle of ports. I was once at the UK and I was delivering a talk on CPEC, and Indian defense attaché was sitting right across the table in uniform. So at the end of my talk, I said that I want to leave a message for my friend from India. And I said to him that in the greater interest of this region, people of this region, India should either cooperate in CPEC or should not contest CPEC. And I said that in my reckoning, India is treading on the path of fighting. So he challenged my view that how do I say that? So I mentioned that there is a battle of ports going on in Indian Ocean, and this rivalry can anytime turn into hostility. And you know what kind of situation is emerging in Ladakh and other regions is the rivalry which is taking place between China and India. Now coming to last part of my talk, CPEC happens to be early harvest of BRI, early harvest project of BRI. I say that success of BRI lies on the success of CPEC, as well as failure of BRI also lies on the failure of CPEC. Anybody who wants to target rise of China, anybody who wants to delay rise of China, anybody who wants to retard the process of rise of China, in my reckoning, should target CPEC. Now, CPEC gives huge strategic gains to both to China as well as Pakistan. I've already said that for 70 years, mostly we have been on the track of fighting, but CPEC is an opportunity which is going to be a track of growth and development. So I normally say that even if we gain 0 on CPEC, still we are gaining 40% that we were losing on the track of fighting and destruction, which we were earlier. Now, as far as this region is concerned, let me also share with you the plight of this region. South Asia happens to be least integrated region of the world, most impoverished region of the world, and most conflict-prone region of the world. Now, if you think of it, why we are the way we are, whole of South Asia, not particularly Pakistan, because we have fought too much. There has been too much of conflict in this region. India is a giant, which is in the middle. There are small states surrounding India. And India, in my mind, as one of our diplomats once said, that India is big, but it is not great. Because of its size, it is big. Because of its population, it is big. But its thinking is not great. It has not let any of its neighbors live in peace. In my PhD, I developed a chart whereby the prevalence of conflict was highlighted in red color in South Asia. Complete chart was red. India has fought with everybody. India till today is annexing areas of which are disputed. Very recently they have annexed Kashmir. Before that, Sikkim and Hyderabad and Junagadh, and there is a long list. So in my view, in our region, India is the source of conflict. And I can prove it through with logic. Now, so to give you figures quickly, why I call it least integrated, as far as ASEAN is concerned, the telephonic conversations that they have or calls that they have amongst within the region are something like 71%. In our region, they are around 17%. The trade that we do with outside world is 94%. The trade that we do within ourselves is 6%. Now this region, as I've said, has been devastated because of prolonged conflict. Now if you recall, after World War II, there was a Marshall Plan, which was laid out by the US. And the Marshall Plan was meant to rebuild a war-ravaged continent, that is Europe. So CPEC is being called as the Marshall Plan for South Asia. South Asia has been, particularly we cannot say there was a war, something like Second World War, but because of prolonged conflict, we have been ravaged, we have been devastated, we have been left behind. So wherever I go, I always call to the world that please give us a break, do not put us through another fighting, and let us develop and grow for the benefit of people of Pakistan and this region. I was once again quoting you of my UK incident, because the Westerners, they cut jokes about China. Earlier they used to do about Russia. So they said to me that we are worried that China may ride you. I said, for 70 years you have been riding us, let them also ride. So our future destiny lies with China. Still we are little, I think, tentative, little shy of taking this new direction. We want to stay on that course on which we have stayed for 73 years. That is the Western world, because of all of our systems are product of their systems, political system, judicial system, economic system, military system. So we are very comfortable dealing with them. But let me assure you, the future is with China. Unless we realign our strategic direction, we will be left behind. Thank you very much.